everybody? Welcome back to the Jackson Show. I'm your host, Jackson Solomon, and today we have some weekend updates plus some predictions for the games. So as always, please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. And as usual, we're just going to get straight into it. So Texas Tech, they play Saturday. Will Hammond is going to remain the starting quarterback for Texas Tech. From what I've read, Behren Morton is the active quarterback. He's going to be dressed and on the sideline, but he won't play. The assumption is that because Texas Tech has the bye next week, that they're going to rest Morton this week, and then he'll be back after the bye for Texas Tech. So Will Hammond will start once again. He's 1-1. In Tech is 1-1 in games he's played, 0-1 in games he started. We'll have to see how they play Saturday. I don't exactly know who they're playing. Let's see if I can get that. In other news, Arizona State's leading receiver, Jordan Tyson, out against Houston with a hamstring issue. Obviously, Tyson left. Not obviously, but Tyson left last week's game with an injury. He came back, had a crucial catch on the final drive. But the injury was just a little much for him to play this week. He'll be sitting out versus Houston. And then I think the biggest news of the week, Billy Napier got fired after a 22-23 record at the University of Florida. He only had 12 conference wins. Billy Gonzalez is going to be the interim head coach for Florida. Some NFL news. Let's start with the Monday night fiasco that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. Their best player, or arguably their best player, Mike Evans, is going to go to IR after he just came back from an injury Monday night. He sustained a concussion and a shoulder injury versus the Lions. And then Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving, they're going to be out for multiple weeks against the Saints. They're going to be out for this week's game against the Saints. I've seen reports that they both are practicing, so that's good news. I have more reports here on some injury updates for the Commanders. They play on Monday night this week. Jaden Daniels is not going to play. Marcus Mariota will start Monday night against the Chiefs. And then last thing, before we get into the actual predictions, Brandon Graham has unretired and he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. I have not seen anything that confirms the fact that he will play against the Giants this week. I have not seen anything that will deny that he's playing against the Giants this week. Could be a game time decision, but from when I've made the script, I just have not seen anything that would indicate that he's not going to play or that he will play. All right, we're moving into the predictions. Moving into the picks. It's time for the predictions. Let's get it. We start in the college football world. 12 o'clock. Kickoff at noon. OU, the 13th team in the country, hosts Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss. Oklahoma favored by 5. I'm taking Ole Miss. I've seen I saw what happened last week when Oklahoma played. First of all, when Oklahoma played Texas, that was bad. I saw what Ole Miss did last week versus Georgia. That scares me, especially with Oklahoma's defense being better than Georgia's. It's a little concerning. I'm taking Ole Miss. Second game on the slate here. I know a lot of people don't watch these games, but I do. I have these games have my full attention on Saturdays. USF traveling to Memphis. USF favored by 4.5. USF is the 18th ranked team in the country. Memphis, just kind of an embarrassing loss last week. And USF, they've dominated the competition in conference. I think it stays that way. I think I'm gonna take USF. They've dominated the in-conference competition. And they've played really well. This would be game of the week, but I know a lot of people are going to give me flack for it, so it's not, but it could be. Could be. Game I have next on this list, Missouri versus Vandy. Vandy's favored by 3. This is technically their game of the week. This is game days going here. I don't like Missouri against big time competition has really struggled. Like they struggled versus Auburn, but they did win that game. They struggled versus Bama. I think we know who Missouri is, and that's a team that's going to be bowl eligible at the end of the season based off of they won 3 conference games. They lost the rest of their schedule, though. They didn't play well. So I'm going to take Vandy. I believe in what Diego Pavia and what they're doing at Vandy. And I saw the clip of Nick Saban where he's not happy with Vanderbilt right now. He's not a very happy camper with the Vanderbilt. Next, BYU versus Iowa State. Iowa State favored at home. But you know what? This game feels like a trap game where BYU, they're feeling high coming off of a win. BYU feels high. They're coming off of a win. They're feeling good. It was a big-time rival win last week, and they're going to Ames. And they're going to Ames, a place where Iowa State lost back-to-back games in conference play. They've looked terrible, and they're not healthy on defense. But I don't care. I'm taking Iowa State because this is exactly the type of thing. This is exactly the type of upset that would happen. So that is exactly the type of Big 12 upset that would happen this week. Up next is 7:30 on ABC, where most of the eyes will be is Texas A&M 2.5-point favorites as they take on the 20th ranked team in the country, LSU. A&M is the 3rd best team in college football right now, in case you haven't seen the latest AP poll. I don't know. I think well, first of all, I'm taking A&M. Reasoning being just, I think it's pretty clear what I'm gonna do. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm taking A&M. It's just the fact that A&M, how do I say this? They play good defense led by Mike Elko, defensive-minded coach. They play good defense. And LSU's offense has had trouble moving the ball down the field. The fact that they're only 3-point favorites and this number isn't 5 or 7.5 is kind of puzzling to me. But you know what? LSU plays good defense. A&M had a trap game last week versus Arkansas. They got away with it. They were alive in that game. Now this week, maybe they're a little shaky. They look rough. And that's what this line tells you. But it also tells me that A&M's winning the game. So, and finally, Michigan versus Michigan State. I know a lot of people don't really care about this game. But it's a big one. The battle for Bunyan. Michigan is 14.5-point favorites. If I'm picking spread, I'm picking MSU, but I'm not. I'm picking the winner of the game. So I'm going to take U of M. I'm going to take Michigan. I don't think they win by 14. They'll win by like 10. Or they'll just embarrass them. I mean, it's a night game. And the last couple of games, Michigan State have been night games. Michigan's won all 3. So it's like State has won at noon. That's kind of like last couple of years they've only won, I think at noon was one, or the last 2 they won was at noon. And then the last time, so the past 3 years they've been at 7, like a night game. And Michigan's won those past. The last Michigan State win was at noon in East Lansing. They won that game. The year before that was at noon in Ann Arbor. They won that game. Year before that was at noon in Ann Arbor again, but Michigan won. So it's kind of little different. Sunday in the NFL, maybe a little bit of revenge going. We just talked about the Eagles with Brandon Graham. Whether he plays or not might not be the biggest storyline, but what Jackson Dart and the Giants will do as they travel to Philly as 7.5-point underdogs. last week, and this is a bad omen for the Giants, especially because the Giants have not won a game on the road. It just looks bad. I don't think this week is the week that they, break it because Philly, I feel like Philly fixed a lot of their issues last week. Obviously, the running the ball thing is still going to be an issue, but I mean, they fixed majority issues, so I don't think there's any problem with it. Bears, Ravens 6.5-point favorites. Lamar's status for Sunday is still a question mark. It's not confirmed that Lamar is going to play. Has not been confirmed. They listed him as questionable about an hour ago, but it's not been confirmed. Although the Bears have played weak competition, I'm taking the Bears. I don't really know about their defense, but last year they hit the stretch and they were pretty good. I think the stretch continues over the Ravens. I don't think Lamar plays on Sunday too. That's kind of another thing that kind of fits. If Lamar plays, Baltimore will win. But if he doesn't, and this is what I'm making my prediction on, Lamar's not going to play on Sunday, they don't win. Bills taking on the Panthers. Bills are 7.5-point favorites. Taking Buffalo. Main reason I'm taking Buffalo is because Bryce Young is not playing. That's the ultimate, or not the ultimate, but the biggest factor in this. Bryce Young's not playing. Bills are coming off a bye. They're healthy. They reflected on the last time they played the Falcons, and they're going to come out and play better. The 4:25 game of the week window. I remember my dad asked me one time, what's the game of the week this week? He was talking about the 4:25 window, and I completely agree. The best window in all of sports, the 4:25 window. As a matter of fact, that's the tagline of CBS Sports. By the way, how's the 4:25 window this week? As the Cowboys travel to Denver to take on the Broncos are favored by 3.5. I'm actually going to look this up to see if the odds are updated, because there's no way the Cowboys are 3-point underdogs going. Oh my God, they are. Wow. I'm taking Dallas. There's no legitimate reasoning for them being 3-point underdogs. They've played. Now, offensively, there's been I think there have been rumors about the Cowboys showing interest in Trey Hendrickson, which is good, but it's going to be bad for Trey Hendrickson and bad for the Cowboys because the Cowboys won't pay him, so why would you make the trade? Dallas struggles on defense. Last week, I think they fixed that. And Denver's has played really bad on offense. They've just been really bad. Their defense is really good, which is the ultimate test this week. See if Surtain's going to cover Lamb or Pickens. I'd put him on Pickens because Lamb's just coming back from the injury. But I mean, man, it's gonna be rough. Plus, that's Georgia LSU right there, or Georgia Bama, I believe it is. Yeah. Packers Steelers. This is the Aaron Rodgers revenge game with the Packers favored by 3.5. I'm gonna take the Steelers. Steelers, last week they lost. They're going to need a win. Packers offense looked good in the second half of that game. Didn't look so good in the first. But when you have a bad offense and a bad defense, usually the bad offense wins. That wasn't the case last night. Bolt up. Some of you guys got that. But yes, the Steelers, in my opinion, although their defense is not very good, I still think they're better than the Packers offense. They'll dominate. They'll win. And last but not least, Monday Night Football, Chiefs, Commanders. Chiefs are favored by 12. I'm going to pick Kansas City. The offense got going last week. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, they're healthy. If they stay that way, which, I mean, I hope they do. I don't believe they can. But if they're healthy, they'll win this game Monday night. All right. Those are all my picks. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It means so much to me. Thank you so much for listening to The Jackson Show. And as always, bring a friend.